Ever notice how the people who seem the most put together never tell you what's actually going on inside their head? There's a disturbing psychological reason for that. When you stop explaining yourself to others, something shifts in your brain. At first, it feels like freedom, like you're finally protecting your peace. But psychologists have found something darker lurking beneath that silence. Your relationships start operating on assumptions instead of truth. People fill in the blanks about who you are, and you let them. Because explaining feels exhausting. Defending yourself feels pointless. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. This isn't about being private or having boundaries. This is about a defense mechanism that's quietly sabotaging your connections without you realizing it. The brutal truth. When you stop explaining yourself, you're not becoming more confident. You're becoming invisible. You're training everyone around you that your inner world doesn't matter enough to share. And worse, you're starting to believe it too. Here's the twisted part nobody talks about. Silence doesn't protect you from judgment. It guarantees misunderstanding. Because when you don't explain, people don't stop making judgments. They just make them without your input. So what actually happens in your brain when you go silent? Your mind interprets it as self-preservation. Every time you swallow an explanation, you're telling yourself, it's safer to be misunderstood than vulnerable. That pattern gets reinforced. And over time, you don't just stop explaining yourself to others. You stop explaining yourself to yourself. You lose touch with your own reasoning. If this is hitting hard right now, that's your signal. The way forward isn't to over-explain or justify everything. It's to recognize when your silence is protection and when it's self-erasure. Start small. Pick one person. Explain one thing you'd normally keep buried. Notice the discomfort. Then notice what happens when you're actually understood. Because the question isn't whether people deserve your explanations. It's whether you deserve to be known.